And seeing Chase Burns, too, we're going to get to it, obviously, but seeing his third start back and what he did in that particular environment, responding back to his hiccup that he had in Boston, I think that was another thing that I'm really focusing on as just seeing, like, yes, that's a checkbox of showing what you can do as a response to a negative performance.
Yeah, let's dig into it. He 4 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 7 Ks. Chase Burns, this start, he was his own worst enemy with the walks and the control to start. I mean, 2 walks off the rip, missing his spots. He's sailing the ball too. He calms himself down. DJ comes out. He's like, "Hey man, let's." And he's like, "Okay, I can do that." And then striking out the next 3 batters. That shows you just how monumental of a step that is in his development, and against a lineup that is so deep and so good. I mean, I'd take that away from it for the rest of it. I mean, that's a huge win.
Yeah, and it shows just how coachable he is, which was one of the biggest things when we drafted him. Like, that was a 80 grade skill of just his mentality and, like, how quick he was to adapt. And, with a less competent guy, it could have unraveled immediately again in the first inning.
Yeah.
You start losing your command. You don't quite have your stuff dialed in, but instead, he just fought through it.
And then adjusted in his 3rd ever big league start on the road.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, it was impressive. It's an impressive start.
Absolutely huge.
In some of those walks, a lot of those pitches could have gone either way. There was a handful of
great
calls.
Strike zone, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very creative strike zone. It got tight and loose simultaneously. It just I don't know, like there wasn't really much consistency there. So I think our pitchers did well trying to adapt to that, and the hitters.
Yeah.
But that was probably very confusing for both to be on the mound and in the batter's box.
Yeah. On an appropriate height of mound,
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big thing.
Not those tricky Cincinnati mounds.
Yeah. Them lower chili mounds.
They're known for their hills out there.
Yeah, they only got 7, and one of them ain't in that ballpark. So one of the things, too, just looking at the numbers here, he had 10 called strikes. He had 13 swinging strikes. What was crazy, too, is looking at how much that lineup grinded. 21 foul balls.
That's what they do.
And just
They
created.
wear you out.
Boom, dude was so good at that. Whenever Burns would come inside and he was just like, now I'm going to hit this back into the net. I'm going to hit it over this way. I'm going to hit it over that way until I get my pitch, which is going to be one of these 2 pitches, a fastball or a slider. And guess what? He didn't get it. So get out of here.
I think that has to be talked about, too. Just the amount of innings that he had that could have, were higher stress with having guys on and having to throw, 30 pitches or something. He had a couple of those innings, and he did have a couple bounce back ones where he threw like 8 or something.
And 11.
Yeah, so that really did help have him get, further into the game. But, I thought he did very well with a lot of the places that he was missing, and he really did a great job of mitigating any sort of damage and really just tuning in and focusing at the right time.
Yeah, he also needs a break. You start with the Yankees at home, and then you go to Fenway and you're tipping your pitches, and then you go to that ruckus, awful environment in Philadelphia where the fans are so nice and patient and kind. He needs this next start where it's going to be against the Fish. Even though the Fish are playing a lot better, he needs a lineup top to bottom. He's like, I can dominate these dudes in my 4th start.
Yeah.
He just needs an easy one.
Not a lineup where he knows all their names and has their baseball cards on his wall when he was growing up. I mean, you could probably name all those players, or most of them, Yankees and Philly, as a kid.
And with the Phillies, he needs to face a team that they've spent more money than the GDP of Iraq, New Zealand, and Hungary. Okay, Iraq $258.20 million, New Zealand $248,666,000, Hungary $237,070,000. The adjusted payroll for the Phillies $279,437,933.
But New Zealand still has 0 World Series.
0 World Series, lots of hobbits.
Lots of hobbits out there.
Lots of hobbits. So yeah, man, you again after this gauntlet. There's no way you can send him back down.
No, absolutely not. I mean, like you said, his next start is going to be hopefully pretty easy in a much more favorable environment, and and then you get the All-Star break, and I'm sure he needs it. This is the most innings he's ever pitched, and he's in the bigs. I'm sure he could use the physical and mental break, and let's see him come out of the break and just sling it.
Yeah. And just be like, hey, man, we don't know when your innings limit's going to be. We don't know that information, but just keep being you for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Eat up the experience that you're getting up here. There's nothing more in AAA that he needs to do to prove and accomplish that he couldn't be building on his starts right now at the major league level. And you just see how he made an adjustment from the start in Boston to what he did in Philadelphia. And that was great. He had a great line with some obvious improvements that I think he's going to make. And I think that's the best place for him to be, is up on a big league mound, even though it's really small in Cincinnati. But yeah, and I want to see how he does against the Fish this upcoming week here.
Yeah. We're just over here making a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
I've been holding on to that for a long time. Yeah, and there's nothing left for him to prove anywhere else until it's time for him to shut it down. And not looking forward to it. Gonna make the trade deadline a little interesting.
Yeah.
But
I mean, hopefully Green coming back will make it a little easier pill to swallow.
I was gonna say you could make it a 6-man rotation.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.